1. It began with a P. He didn't like peas, green, soft, mushy. He rolled one across the dinner table, and it dropped through a small hole in the wood, no bigger than a straw, that hadn't been there before. No thump, no bounce, just gone. He forked another off his plate, nudging it toward the edge while his younger sister kept talking, nasal, breathless, about gymnastics. His parents weren't really listening. They never did. It was enough that they came together at the same time to feed. It kept up appearances, and that was what you did all your life until you died. So they listened to his sister. She didn't even listen to herself. Whatever her brain threw together came straight out her mouth. He imagined it like a river, pouring out over her lips, flooding the table, drowning everyone if you let her, or a fire hose. 2. At least his parents' faces were pointed at his sister, pretending to care. Parents were stupid. Humans were. They had those big heads, but only head sensors on one side. You could do anything on the back side, and they'd never have a clue. It was as if nature thought only half the world was dangerous, and the other half was fine, like a comic book. Our heads should revolve on ball bearings, he thought, because the world isn't safe. Even then, danger could still come from above or below. After dinner, his mother cleared the dishes, rinsed them, stacked them in the washer. His sister helped, still talking, now about a tournament in a nearby city, what her teammates wanted to do there. It was the same every night. The salt went back in the salt place, followed by the pepper, sugar, napkins. The table got wiped down, crumbs carried in one cupped hand to the sink. The sink made everything disappear. He kept his finger over the hole so his sister wouldn't see it. She wiped right over his finger without even looking up. 3. Everyone left the room. They always did. His father went first, he always did, downstairs to do whatever fathers did in their private spaces, probably just glad to be away from everyone else. Then his mother left, followed by his sister. She'd trail her like a shadow until bedtime, when her mouth would finally get a chance to rest, or recharge. He stayed, pretending to read, waiting until the house was quiet. Then he climbed onto the chair and leaned close with his phone's flashlight. The hole didn't just go into the tabletop, it went through it, all the way. But when he looked, there was no floor beneath it, just blackness. From the underside it was the same, a circle of matte, perfect black. The peas were long gone, a magic trick. 4. He went to bed thinking about it, but forgot the next morning. It was summer, and better things called, empty lots with yellow grass, train tracks you could press coins on, a stack of girly magazines he'd found stuck together and warped by rain. Long secret hours on his bike, pushing farther and farther away, wishing he could ride so far he'd either escape or pedal straight into adulthood and never come back. Once, he stole his father's rifle, rode it across town to the river and, after some consideration, fired one shot across the water into a public park. The second shell jammed. He didn't know how to clear it, so he biked it home and slid it back into the cabinet. His father said nothing. He wondered clinically if the bullet had found anything, or anyone. Probably just leaves, maybe a tree, or maybe something more exciting. That night, dinner again. Same positions, like a chess game. His sister beside him, parents opposite, Us versus them. He kept his glass of iced tea over it, and when no one was looking, he fed the whole a curved noodle for variety. Then a button, then a stalk of asparagus. He didn't like that much either. The whole accepted it all. It never gave anything back. Was it growing? 5. It became a routine. He fed it at night. A spoon, a glass, his sister's shoes, the entire drawer of take-out menus. The more he gave, the more it seemed to want. Princess was next. His sister's ragdoll cat, her obsession. She had begged for it, body sprawled on the living room carpet in front of their parents, literally leaking tears of desire. She had spammed the family chat with videos for a month. Ragdolls were soft, floppy, obedient. They came when called. They're like dogs, but they're cats, she said. She'd take the best care of it, they would see. He didn't like cats, even ones that acted like dogs. He called it a cat roach. When you rubbed it, you could feel its bones. They were like little skeletons wearing fur, little dead things just alive enough to lift their noses, scent your food, and come looking. Their claws always ruined things, and when they scratched him, it burned. So when Princess jumped on the table, looking for crumbs, he grabbed it by the scruff and held it over the widening circle of black, now just a little larger than a teacup. It didn't go willingly. He put its head in first, then had to push it through. But once its head was in, it went without a sound. That's when he discovered the trick. 6. Dead things made it grow slow. A butter plate, a paring knife, picture frames. They only nudged the edges. But living things made it expand exponentially. It wasn't a hole anymore. After it ate Princess, there was no more table. The black just hung there, suspended, like a missing part of the world, like a blind spot that had gone feral. He stopped feeding it, stood back. The stovetop light caught his eyes, wide and reflecting the dark. Then he grew tired, went to bed. In the morning he woke to the scream. 7. He kicked free of the covers and ran to the kitchen. Half of it was gone. The floor dipped into a vortex, a wound in the world. He remembered something from English class, a poem Poe. The air has a mote in its eye, he thought. His sister turned toward him, pale and trembling. She had let out the scream. Of course she had. She was looking between him and the void, mouth open, but nothing coming out. What the fuck, she finally said. Like serious WTF. We have to wake Dad. But he didn't want to. He sensed he might get blamed. He didn't really want to fix it either. Fixing it meant going back, dressing in the mornings, folding into drawers, the bells, the teachers, the bullies, the windows that didn't open. The same walk home, the same house, the same parents, the same table. Watching his sister grow taller, longer bike rides he always had to return from. "Is that Princess?" he said, pretending alarm. He pointed into the hole. When she turned to look, he stepped forward and pushed her, sharp and clean, between the shoulder blades. She didn't fall exactly. She vanished. 8. It wasn't really his fault. He just pushed her. She was the one who lost her balance. That's what he told himself. The hole surged. It took the kitchen, then the wall, half the house. Mother came running from the bedroom, clutching her robe. She didn't stand a chance. She didn't even see it. Fell straight in and never made a sound. Father came next, in his boxers. He stopped at the edge, blinking, trying to understand. Then he ran through what was left of the rooms, calling names that were no longer there. At last he understood. He found the boy and pulled him close. "Call the police," he said. Then softer, "I love you." He turned to the dark, now as wide as a tunnel, crouched and slowly lowered himself in, arms reaching for nothing, until he fell. The boy held the phone, thumb over the button. He didn't press it. He ran as the hole swelled wider. It caught him at the front door. It should have taken him too, but it didn't. He was left on a patch of grass, no larger than a welcome mat, surrounded by a sky that looked like rain, and nothing at all underneath. 9. The hole didn't stop. It grew on its own now. It ate sidewalks, neighbors' houses. It reached the stoplights by the food court, the gas station. People came out of their homes like ants spilling from a nest. They gathered, staring into it. Each saw something different. Stars, waves, themselves. Some screamed, backed away, or ran, but others pushed. A woman shoved her fiancé. A man hurled his brother. Children kicked at their parents' ankles and whispered, "Go." Mothers flung their babies, or their sons. Men wrestled in the lawns and on hard streets, rolling over and over until they both dropped in. One woman backed her car out of the garage at an alarming speed and went straight into the hole, just enough time for one short honk. It was humanity's chance to clean house, to rid themselves of the too familiar, the inconvenient, the envied, the hated, the almost loved. The hole didn't ask, it didn't pull, it only showed, and what they saw made them act. 10. By the time the boy looked up again, it was over. He didn't know it, but the city was gone. People in baths, couples shagging, mothers nursing, a workman pouring coffee into his thermos, a doctor rinsing blood from a peach, a priest unlocking the church door for another day of God, a girl drawing shapes on a fogged window. It swallowed tract houses, schools, prisons, and hospitals, all equal. It swept across continents like hunger let loose. If people had known the trick, they might have stopped it, strung yellow police tape around the perimeter, started building bridges. But they didn't understand. Once they looked into the hole, they started pushing. By minute 2, America was gone. By minute 3, Europe. By minute 4, the oceans folded like paper. Tourists on boats watched the water cave in. High-speed trains, already racing along their magnets, couldn't outrun it. Satellites failed. Presidents blinked out. Search engines, schools, wind, all gone. The boy stood alone now on his patch of grass, phone still in hand. All around him, black, maybe stars winking through it. He was more curious than scared. The hole had circled the globe. It had returned to where it began. It saw the boy, the one who had first fed it. It paused, almost pitied him, then smiled, slowly, sublimely, opened once more, and took the last bite.